Welcome to Week 3, Module 3, Midterm Assignment Instructions. We're about halfway through the course right now, and time is moving quickly. I believe that I mentioned that you would have all week to do this assignment as long as you submit it by Sunday night, 10 p.m. Will be good. I also decreased the number of pages, 4 to 5 content pages, not including the cover page, reference page. So that should be manageable this week. And I just want to give you some further instructions to help you with this assignment. So if we look here for the instructions. Each student will write on a case scenario, and you will make up the case scenario, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Dealing with grief, loss, death anxiety. This should be 4 to 5 pages, not including title page and references. Follow APA guidelines, please, with a manageable font like 12 pitch. You can look in the syllabus for all of the guidelines for the final paper, same guidelines for this paper. APA, small 12-pitch font, 1-inch margins, all that good stuff. So we're just beginning to cover how to deal with complicated grieving this week, including using regret therapy. So your readings in both Wharton and in my book, as well as the video lectures, should really help you with this process. We want you to apply a theoretical approach and techniques of counseling to a specific issue related to grief and loss, applying that to a client. So you're going to give a basic introduction of the case history. So you're going to choose a very specific type of grief and loss, usually a complicated grieving. So did this individual experience the loss of a family member, a friend, a meaningful other individual in their life, even a pet? Were the circumstances important in the grieving process? So for instance, did they contribute to complicated grieving? For instance, was this death expected or unexpected? Was it traumatic? Was it the result of an ongoing illness? What was the client's relationship with the deceased? What was the history of the relationship with the deceased? Was the relationship conflicted? Was it distant? Were there arguments? Were there words said that weren't meant to be said? Was there a lack of content? Or a lack of presence in the relationship? So perhaps they did not talk for an extended period of time. Perhaps they didn't see each other for an extended period of time. Perhaps there was something beyond the individual's control. Perhaps somebody was involved in the military. Somebody may not have been able to get a plane ticket to return to see the deceased before they passed away, before they died. Any contributing circumstances. One thing I would caution is that I would prefer that you made up the scenario. Do not delve into a personal issue or a personal loss with this case scenario. I'd like it to be hypothetical so that you could really look at the case professionally as a grief and loss therapist, and not have to worry about any type of countertransference or transference or anything like that. So you're going to write this as kind of a part treatment plan, part case scenario. The first page, an introduction of the case history, theories that you'll use, everything I just mentioned about the relationship of your client with the deceased individual or pet. Part 2, that would be pages 3, 4, and 5. A scripted dialogue with the client, not doing an assessment. That part's already done. It's included in your first page of case history. But a therapeutic session with your client where you apply some theoretical techniques and theory to help the client through the complicated grieving process. An easy example would be a role play, a role reversal, and then personification of the feeling. And you'll learn about them in today's lectures and readings. Then, part 3, the final page, a brief discussion of the session and theoretical techniques used. And that would give you 5 pages. You should have at least 2 professional references, not including my book or Warden or the notes or the videos or anything that was supplied in this class. Something beyond this class, something that you can get from the library. Professional journals, other professional books. So 2 professional references that you will cite in your paper in the first page or the last page, talking about theory or techniques or how they worked out. I know there's plenty of journal articles out there that can help you, and most of it can be done online. So I hope that helps, and I realize you're just getting your feet wet with grief and loss as a counselor or therapist. If you want, it could take place in either clinical mental health or in the school, depending on where you see yourself in the future, as a clinical mental health counselor, as a social worker if you're visiting our department from another department, or as a school counselor. So a lot of this is very flexible, and if you have questions, email me. But I hope this will be a learning experience. I always think it's good to apply knowledge. I know we've only had class for 2 weeks, but do a little research on your own and do your best, and I will look forward to reading your assignments.